So you think you want to take an online math course. Well, before you get too far into it, I'd like for you to consider a couple of things. First of all, have you ever taken an online course before? If you have, you are aware that this kind of a commitment is similar to being in a face-to-face classroom. You still have to schedule time and can treat it in the same way. If you haven't ever taken an online course, that's something you want to consider, that just because you're taking this in a virtual format doesn't mean that there is any less time still learning the material and then practicing that material through homework. Now, if you have taken an online course, have you ever taken an online math course? The reason I differentiate between the two is because if you were successful in your online courses, but perhaps your math is not your strongest subject, that can affect perhaps the amount of time that you're spending on the course, as well as any frustration levels and all of that kind of stuff when you're thinking about taking an online class in a subject that's not maybe the easiest one for you. Another question I'd like for you to consider is, how long has it been since your last math class? Now, because we tend to forget our math as the farther we are away from it, that can really greatly impact the level of understanding you have in the course. So if you are fresh out of high school and you just had a class your senior year, then you're probably going to be good as far as understanding this material. It'll just come back to you really easily. If, however, it has been a couple of years since you've seen any math, you might want to consider how that's going to affect the amount of time that you're going to have to put into the class, bringing yourself back up to speed, along with moving through the course in an accelerated 5 weeks. Some more information you want to think about, it has to deal with time management in an online class. So how many classes are you taking along with this one math class? Also, if you are taking any other classes, are they online as well? Because online classes, I think, tend to eat up that available time that you have, that you think you have, and so you want to make sure that you are managing that as well. Do you work full-time? Depending upon your work schedule, if you are working, that can greatly affect the amount of available time that you have to spend on any of your classwork. And finally, do you have any family commitments during this summer session that are going to pull you away, or that perhaps you just need to make sure that you allow for as you move through this course? Now, ultimately, you want to be successful. That's the end game for this, of course, in your math class. So I would like for you to take some time and really think about these questions as you enter into this course. Some students have found that an online math course really isn't for them, and if that's the case right off the bat, you still have time to switch to a face-to-face. If that's not an option for you, you really want to sit down, look at the calendar, and work on think about your commitment to the course and how you're going to strategize and make the best out of it over the next 5 weeks. So I hope that these tips will help.